Hey guys, welcome back to another episode from Double Sleeve. Today we are doing a deck profile from Maddie, who came third with King Piccolo in this year's first big regional for Oceania. The competitive season has started back up, and it was a webcam event. And Maddie, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of your first ever tops in a big flight game. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. So it's the first time I've been in the top for sure. So finishing third on the weekend was my best feat. Pretty happy with my result, although I would have loved to have come first. But yeah,
Of course. And you, like I mentioned, you took King Piccolo. You went 5-1. Is that right in the tournament itself? Yep.
yeah. So 5-1. We played 6 rounds,
Yep.
obviously, and I dropped my fifth game to Salt Striker. I think was the only game I lost. So
And your other 5 wins, can you go over your rounds itself, just so we can get an insight of what you actually played against and how you fared against
yep.
them?
Yeah. So my first match was SS4.
Yep.
Interesting matchup. He ended up on like something ridiculous, like 13 energy.
Yeah. Wow.
But the game went into tiebreakers, and I ended up winning because I had more cards in deck. But he turning tied me and everything. It was pretty hectic. I didn't side for blue. I wasn't sure how much blue was. Side. I didn't main for blue, especially turning the tide. I wasn't sure how much blue was going to be represented, and turns out there was actually a lot. But yeah, narrowly escaped through due to tiebreakers there. Game 2 played against Green Boo. So much really to say there. Yamcha counterplay just destroyed that deck. It was quite
Absolutely.
easy,
Hmm.
really. I just drew the nuts, and yeah, that game went for about 25 minutes, I think. um, Game 3, I played against Zamasu Wish. That was another pretty easy win, really. He was
Hmm.
playing sort of the yellow good stuff type thing. I sort of been messing around with the deck. I played a lot differently to the way people are playing it / building it. So I'd like to take that out for a spin soon and see how that goes. But yeah, that was that match. And then round 4, I played against Green Broly, and I don't know, he just didn't see any of the cards he wants to see, I think. So that was a pretty easy win, that one there. He kept leaving 2 energy up, and he kept trying to boo negate, and I just omened it every time,
Yeah.
and then just swung at him. Game 5 was Soul Striker. I lost that due to a misplay. I think round about the 5-6 energy, he had the baby unison out, and he negged 3 on it to give his, or he negged 5 or whatever it is to give his leader triple strike. And yeah, I kied him because he swung. He had a 5-drop KO down, and he swung with KO, so I kied him, and then he bounced it, and I didn't re-kai, so that kind of cost me the game there. He ended up
Mm.
playing a couple of calamities and a few different things, and swung him with a bit too much pressure, and I couldn't quite get over it in time. And then he won in tiebreakers because he had one more life than me, so
Wow.
absolutely shattered. And then my last match was against Android 18 mil. And the reason why I won that is because of a GD unison, which I'll show you in the deck profile. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as I played that turn 4, that was it. That was GG.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, all in
Perfect.
all, it was a really good weekend. All my opponents were pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Aussie community is quite good. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually, yeah, a pretty good result. Obviously, King Piccolo made, I guess, its rounds around recently as well. There's a couple of other regions that I know of that have been actually continuing to take King Piccolo. If I'm not mistaken, I think it won the USA regional as well that they had on the same weekend, which is quite interesting that it's kind of represented in 2 different regions.
Yeah.
You've obviously been playing King Piccolo for quite some time. Again, we did see it late last year have a resurgence as well in our Nats. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think of the deck itself? Obviously, with this meta, is there anything that you, I guess, would add in there or would change from what you took on the weekend now that you've got a bit more exposure to all the new decks that came out with Realm of the Gods? Obviously, that was legal. And you've obviously, seen the deck in and out. So is there anything, I mean, we'll go through the changes that you possibly have made with set 16 in the deck profile, but is there anything that kind of came out that you might have added, or anything that you think to yourself that maybe I wish I had this in, or I could change this, or there
Um,
was a dead card or anything like that?
yeah, I know what you mean. And yeah, I think King Piccolo won the American regionals, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. I think
Mm-hmm.
Marcel Russell piloted that one. The deck he built is pretty different. I think a lot of the representation of the deck has been built, yeah, different similarly to mine. I have been playing it since it was released. I personally think it's the best deck in the format.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a strong contender for a while.
Mm-hmm.
As far as cards in the deck goes, I haven't really changed too much since. Like for a best of one list, it's a bit tricky. Like I do have a sideboard, obviously,
Yeah.
and Fest coming up is pre-side, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I have now is I actually run 2 Bardock Fully Unleashed,
Okay.
which was actually more for Sin, to be honest.
Yep.
If you're not familiar with it, it warps everything 6 or more.
Yep.
So it's really favourable in that matchup. But otherwise, the core component of the deck is pretty much as I would run it as a best of 3.
Okay. All right.
To be
Awesome.
honest,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Well, give us a quick rundown, obviously, of what the deck is
Yep.
for those that are unfamiliar with it, what it does, and your key components of obviously what you're looking for, and how it obviously
Yep.
won you your games.
No worries. So if you're not familiar, King Pickle Rick, on swing, you put a card into life, take one out. Your awakened condition is when you have 2 face-up cards in life, or you got 3 or less life. On the other side, when you swing, you can put 3 cards into your life, and then you can take 3 out, as long as they're Namekians or Demon Clans. And then on your activate battle, top card into life, combo with a card from life. So he plays a lot of 15k beaters for free, basically. But the main component of the engine are the Demon Clans. So we run Force Symbol, activate main, Demon Clan from the drop, under the Unison, let you draw, add the marker to it. It's a really big part of your draw engine. The Tambourine is probably your main damage dealer. It does have unique though, but there are a lot of times where you'll play it, you'll swing for 20, combo it off, play another one. There's a few different lines of play you can do with it. We've got the drum, the one of, unfortunately, but I can sort of see how broken it was, to be honest. Barrier blocker, it's just a good card. Comes in, negs something 10.
Absolutely.
Then we run the 4 piano, which help with your draw. So when you put a card face up in life, he lets you draw one once per turn. There's a lot of the times where, especially coming into turn 3, you'll have this on board. Depending on what deck you're playing against, you might want to apply a bit more pressure. So I would swing with leader, put cards into life, draw off him, combo him off, and then combo something, play it. If I played a symbol turn 3, usually is what I'd be trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then use that piano to gain markers and keep cycling through your deck. So there's a lot of times where I actually comboed it off instead of leaving it on the field. And depending on your matchup, it doesn't sit there for too long.
Mm-hmm. And for those that obviously are not aware, every time with this deck that you are adding cards to your life, they are face up from your hand or from your deck itself, and then grabbing whichever cards you want from there as well, which obviously is the whole point of the deck as well.
Yeah, essentially. So, I mean, early on, you don't really know what's in there, but once you get over to the other side, and you can put Namekians or Demon Clans in.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you can put 3 in, definitely do it. You always want them in your life.
Mm-hmm.
The super combo that we run is a Namekian also, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really nice to run in there too. I think you have to run the Piccolo super combo. We'll talk about that when I get it anyway. But continuing on, we've got the Dragon Ball Obsession, which is your top 5 searcher. For a Demon Clan Namekian or Unison 2 cost, it's great. Keeps your consistency up. A lot of the times I'll do that turn 1 if I don't see piano. Depending on what I'm playing against, if piano is going to be warped or something like that, this is usually your target. Time to Fight is insane. When you play it, search your deck for anything 4 or less, basically, or a Unison. On play, you can give something 20k, or on swing, you can give something 20k. The reason why that's so relevant is any of your Demon Clans you can boost up, and then use your revive on your Unison to KO everything on the board of that power and less. It's really strong. The super combo we play, as I was saying before, is the Piccolo. I mean, it's searchable. You can put it into life. You can combo it out. I just don't think you run it, so there's no reason to. This card's awesome. The other good thing about it is it's a 0-10k anyway. So if you find that you have to use it, you might not get the draw, but at least you get the power.
Yep. And especially obviously with a deck that's super aggro, you don't really want to be obviously maneuvering your own life and taking your own life when you can obviously chop and change with that face-up aspect of the deck itself. So you want to be able to control yourself rather than obviously take it from an opponent's swing.
Yeah, that's right. We run best unison in the game.
Yeah.
The Piccolo, its auto is absolutely cracked. Every time they try and negate, you're just popping stuff. It's really good against all the token negates. They negate, they play a token, it gets killed.
Mm-hmm. So
it's really good.
Speaking of that as well, I do want to ask you your thoughts. Obviously, you've mentioned it's one of the best unisons in the game right now. Are you shocked that it didn't get errated or it didn't get banned completely or limited to one or anything like that when this ban list obviously got announced pre-set 16?
Mm, So in this deck in particular, it's insane
Mm-hmm.
because you use it for what it is. It's a
Mm-hmm.
revive mechanic. It's auto. It probably could be a once per turn
Yeah.
because negate heavy decks like blue and yellow, like you're just clearing stuff left, right, and center, right?
Yeah.
It punishes them for trying to get control of the game state and keeping control of their life. So I can see the warrant based on the auto.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's not, as long as I'm playing King Piccolo,
You're happy
it
to
is
leave it
what
as
it
it is.
is.
That's it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Personally, I think the revive mechanic in this deck is the best part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once because it's so easy to get markers on, and because the deck inherently defends it really well,
Yep.
you're just gonna see that. So
Yep.
anytime your opponent doesn't matter what they play, you can pretty much get rid of it as long as it doesn't have barrier. So
Yep. Absolutely.
I'll probably revive once or twice a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, moving on. Speaking of defense, we've got 3 Scion. You want to see this turn 2 when you play a Unison, basically to protect it. It is unique, so we only run the 3. What a lot of people may not know is that even if one is on the field, you can still activate another one to negate. It just goes to drop. I've done done that a couple of times, but yeah, have to run that one at 3. Wouldn't run it anymore. As I say, it is unique. Then you've got Yamchas, obviously. Everyone knows what Yamchas do. As a 3 of, it's really good. Then we run the 1 new ruler. I can't believe that used to be at 4.
Yeah.
I actually just can't believe that used to be at 4. Like, obviously back in the day when the deck come out, or when these come out and you could run them in the deck, every turn you were playing a drum and doing this and applying pressure. It's just,
20k double
yeah,
strike for free every turn. Yeah, ridiculous.
pretty insane. Um, One first step to revival. This comes up. I play this every single match on the weekend. There were times where I was at 5 or 6 life. I was trying to get my opponent down. I would play turn 3. I would play a symbol to get the draw by putting a demon clan under the thing. I'd swing with it. I'd combo this. I'd combo a tambourine out of life. Play the tambourine. Keep swinging. So with this as well, what people may not realize is that you can warp it and give something 5k. So another good combination with this is that your symbol do that, then you combo this, play the tambourine, warp this, give your tambourine 5k, brings it up to a 20. In other turns, you can do that before you even swing. So instead of getting mecha'd, so what you can do is you can wipe boards without before you swing with a tambourine. Based off your rejuvenate from a unison skill. Does have a lot of utility. I do really like it. They're probably, in my opinion, I may run 2 of it.
Mm-hmm.
I use it every game. I find it really valuable. It's like a bean for the turn 2
Mm.
on your turn. But yeah, just being able to apply pressure and get your life down. Like if you're at 6 and you do that, and you play a tambourine, now you're at 5, so your token negates alive. Then in that turn, then you can easily get down to your 4 if you need to start using your super combos to generate a bit more value. But really like that card. Attack of the Demon Clan, quite similar. Searches your deck, puts it into life, then allows you to combo from life again. Early pressure if you want to at high life. This also allows you to get your 1 drum out. I do it every game. If I don't see it in the first opening hands,
Yep.
generally I pull drum out. And drum's really good for defense. Also helps you protect unison.
Mm-hmm.
Again, keeps your draw engine going with your symbols. Really good. Think 2 of is fine. Negate package, 2 violence.
Mm-hmm.
Used them all weekend. Very relevant, especially against the blue matchup. 3 testing the opposition. Fantastic card. We do start a low life. I don't think you'd run 4 anyway, but these are fantastic. Like
Yep.
between these and your scions and drum and everything, like it's quite easy to protect your unison. Then we run omens. So I don't know why people don't run these. I know a lot of people run the Vegetas. The Vegetas hit 15Ks.
Yep.
I can see an argument for it because you can combo it, but this answers every single card 20 or less.
Yep.
Like it's insane. Like it won me so many games on the weekend. So
Yep.
if you don't know what it is, you tap 1, you crit 1, you've got to have a unison play to be able to do it, and then the battle card with 20k power or less is played in the drop instead of being played super relevant.
We're seeing a lot of 20k cards obviously come out now that are super important to a lot of decks. You know, we've obviously got a lot of 15k negates that play on the field, like you mentioned earlier, but we're starting to see a lot of key cards for a lot of decks that have 20k power. So obviously having that and taking advantage of that card as well in your deck is absolutely smart.
Yeah. So I guess your Trunks matchup hits the Vegetas, hits the Trunks. In your Goku U7 matchup, hits about everything. I don't think there's much it doesn't hit in that matchup.
Yep.
And again, in King Piccolo, you are reviving. You are gaining more life during the match. So if you're going to do that to crit 1, which you're going to get that life back, but if that stops you from negging 5 cards out of hand,
absolutely,
or whatever it may be,
brainer.
You're going to take that. Yep. So answers every floodgate in the game. Like it's just such a good card. Then we run the 2 Death Ball. Finish the game multiple times with this card. It's great. Like it's a 25k combo when you're swinging into a lead. You neg the lead 10, you get 15. Absolutely cracked. Then we have the King, the best card in the deck. G-Day Unison of Might. Every game I played it, I won.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I played it against Soul Striker, to be honest. I think I did, even though I ended up losing that match. But turn 4, slap it down. Neg 2, they can't play cards with skills. GG.
Yeah.
Like it's just too good.
Shuts down.
And because you can clear the board so easily with the Piccolo Unisons, depending on when you play it too, like you can burn them for 1 if they have no battle cards. So you can get them down to 1 life, turn 5, tap 5 for it. GG's. But this card just put in so much work. Yeah, it's really good. 1-off Champa because Champa. I put it in all my decks. And also we run the Kai secret. So, inherently, you play the Kai, you Champa, you swing it for 50 double. You want to put this on something else. I actually did it to clear a Unison too. King Piccolo has a lot of energy to work with. So, I did use it to clear Unisons. And then the final, this is my tech choice. Honestly, that is the core of the deck. I pretty much run that in and out all the time. And then I ran 2 Bardock Fully Unleashed, the Overarm. So people that aren't familiar, you play it. Every one of your opponent's card with an energy cost of 6 more gets sent to the warp. So this is I honestly thought that I was going to play against Singe Gendron all weekend, and I was going to cry because I hate that deck. But that's why I teched that one in. This come up against SS4 and Soul Striker.
Yep.
Surprisingly, when I played SS4, he played the SS4 Vegeta, and he had something else on field, so I just played that to warp it, so I didn't have to deal with it. But yeah, I honestly thought I'd see a lot more Sin. I just thought that was going to get a little bit more traction, but I didn't play against it, so...
Yeah, just one of those things where you kind of, pre-game sideboard will obviously, eliminate some of that RNG.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you'll be able to kind of put cards into your deck that that you would rather see than cards that you kind of teched for where the deck's not even there.
Yeah, pretty much. I think in the current format, I think I would side that out and just run the 1-off.
Yep.
Just to keep the numbers down, keep it more consistent. And then in sideboard would just be, Coits, Wolfangs, Crowns, Mechikaburas, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, man, that was the deck. Really good weekend. Everyone I played against was a good bloke. And yeah. Hope to see more King Piccolo around, I guess.
Yeah, always good. Obviously we've got some new red decks that are, crawling out of set 16. It's obviously only been the first real weekend, or I'd say week, I guess, that people got to play around with a lot of the new things. So I'm wondering if that's going to continue to change as more events come relevant. I noticed in your deck, apart from obviously the limited cards and the SCR, you're only really running like maybe 1 or 2 cards that are actually only 1-ofs. I think that was the Champa and also the King Piccolo promo. So a lot of cards in there that are, I guess, more for consistency because you kind of want to at least see them in the deck itself. But yeah,
pretty much. I think my 1-ofs was that because I have to.
Yeah,
Champa because you have
SCR.
to.
And then the Champa
and the secret.
King Piccolo.
Otherwise,
exactly
otherwise
right.
there was sort of a bit more of each, So But yeah, that is the deck. I think moving forward, it's at the top for the meta choice. Alongside, I have to sort of see how Trunks and U7 Goku sort of
Mm.
fares, but in my mind at the moment, this is probably the best deck. But
Yep.
thought I'd just lay it out a little
And you're
bit
happy with
there.
it? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, Matty, thank you so much, obviously, for your time and allowing us to do a deck profile on your King Piccolo. Again, congratulations on coming in the top three for again the first big regional for here down in Australia. I think every country, anyway. To be honest, I think it was one of those weekends where we finally got a taste of the new competitive season with some new cards, some new decks, a lot of
Yes,
different
sir.
choices out there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's cool. And I think what set 16 was Realm of the Gods.
Correct.
Some really cool stuff coming out. I think the game's going in a pretty cool direction. So this competitive season's going to be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait for more events to be announced and for us to kind of get more information on how these new cards and how these new decks kind of shine from this, where people get more game time with them and they kind of figure out exactly what they want to do. But I'm also obviously very keen to see how the pre-game best of one sideboard comes along, and if there is going to be a lot of different tech and a lot of different decks that kind of emerge from the shadows now that they get to fix up a fair bit of their problems instead of needing to obviously include all their cards in the main board. But again, Matty, thank you so much. Congratulations on becoming coming
Thanks,
top
man.
three for this Oceania event. And guys, if you enjoy these kind of videos and you want to see more deck profiles, definitely leave a comment down below. Make sure you sub to the channel and give us a like, so that way we know that you guys are happy with it. We will put the deck profile in the description below, so that way you guys can check it out and at least be able to kind of see what cards you need and what the deck actually looks like on paper. Again,
Yep.
thank you so much. Take care of yourself, Matty, and hopefully down the track we can get another deck profile from you, and fingers crossed that you grab that elusive first place spot.
100%, bro. I'm going to take it. You'll see. Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
No worries. Take care, guys, and hopefully see you in the next one.
Cheers.